Well, folks, it's been a while, but TFC Unplugged is back. How you doing there, Noel?
It's nice to be back on the East Coast. God, I had to endure a lot of Whitecaps fans in my ear all last week, including two in my office. Shout out to Brad. He, he greeted me coming up the stairs with a Whitecaps chant the other day. Fantastic. Thanks, TFC. And then obviously they won the cup there. Oh, God. Try to find a place to hide in a city that's like happy. Um, so, yeah, I'm glad to be back here.
Well, you know what? I will say this. Congratulations to the Whitecaps. They've done something that, you know what, we in Toronto never could do, win four Canadian championships in a row. So that is still a good feat.
That also tells you how bad Montreal and Toronto are.
Yeah, because in reality, you would assume, based on them being the MLS teams, that this is the kind of trophy that, you know, you should only be winning it every maybe 2 years in a row. The
Yeah,
MLS
it
team
should be
should
more
be more.
competitive, but it's
Yeah.
not, right? And Hamilton, no, I'm going to shout out Hamilton. I think they've been far more competitive than Toronto and Montreal. So,
Oh, I
absolutely.
was, in many ways, it was disappointing that they had to get knocked out by Vancouver, because to me, I would have much rather seen the Whitecaps versus Forge in the final. No, not
Yeah,
not trying to knock the other Vancouver team, but they don't have the legs or the pedigree that Forge have. But anyways, I digress. We're not here to talk CPL or Canadian soccer as a whole. Um, you have the international break to do all that. We're here to talk about our seventh. Is it seven? Draw in a row.
I'm bored of drawing.
Well,
Like,
we
yeah,
didn't lose. We haven't
I know,
lost in
but
a long
okay.
time. We
But
haven't
yes,
lost a long time.
yes, we haven't. Yeah, we haven't won though, and I keep saying this. Like, I don't know why everyone's on this feel good factor. Oh,
We're
look
trying.
at us, we drew a game. I
We're
am
trying to find.
so bored of our. Do you know it's like watching paint dry? Like, it's generally like watching the most dullest football alive. Like, and I said this yesterday because I was, everyone's still very upset about the ticket prices, and they have every right to be upset with the ticket prices. But when you look at the leadership of Toronto FC, they are like dry toast. This is how I described them yesterday. They are like dry toast. It's just difficult to eat, right? It's dull, it's bland, it's boring. Oh, but we haven't lost. We haven't won for 80 days.
You're not
We
wrong. You're
won
not
two
wrong.
games at home. Like, come on. Two
Yep.
games at home.
Uh,
I don't get this feel good factor of love and cheerfulness that everyone. I'm like, are you guys watching this crap? Like,
yeah.
Jack Elliott was like on a one man hat trick mission this week. If it wasn't for him, it would have been 0-0.
Yep. No, I don't dispute that. Like, I'm just making, like, to me it's a joke. Like, this team has just become another laughing stock of the, you know, I don't want to say of the Toronto landscape, but it feels as if, we're not meant to have good things in Toronto sports world, right?
That's
And
not
or you can
true.
only have one good team at a time. And this year it's the Jays, so all the other Toronto teams have to just sit back and relax and enjoy. I don't. You know what?
I
You
just
and I
can't.
have just.
I can't take any more of these Robin Fraser. Oh yeah,
Uh,
look at us. We're hard to beat. We're hard. We're hard to beat because we don't attack.
we
We
don't have.
and don't get me
We
wrong.
can't attack.
We can't attack. We don't know how to go forward. Etienne Jr. Why bother? Like, I don't get the point of this team. It's like we're like watching paint dry every week, and I'm paying 30% more to watch paint dry. Like, I don't get how people are okay with and thinking this is all positive because we're not losing every week, not winning every week. You've not won
Here,
for 80 days, and we won twice at home all season. We won
yep.
three on the road because it's easier to play on the road than it is at home.
Everything you said is 100% accurate. There's no disputing anything.
I'm
You
so
can't argue
bored
with
of
that. The
it.
team has
I'm
been
bored.
right.
I'm bored.
Um, Mentally, I've tuned the team out already. I'm just going through the motions. Last week's ticket increase just kind of solidified. Like, I hadn't officially not cancel my tickets, but it's just a matter of the next week or two I will be. There's just nothing about this team has me wanting to or believing in them, right? Have we seen a change in the team from they got rid of the Italians? Yes. Have we seen slight improvement? Very minimal. The problem is we an area where we've struggled for years. You and I have talked about this. It's been talked on every Toronto TFC podcast that's out there. Is that we don't have a number 9, and it's I think another area that we're missing is when you look at our front attack, we have no pace. We don't have a threat at that number 9 position. So we're not really going to put other teams on the back heel because we don't have that kind of attack that can put have teams sit back and try to absorb that pressure. There is no pressure coming from Toronto FC. We get the odd counterattack that we're able to capitalize on, but and get the odd goal. We have no form of consistent attack. We have no form of consistent buildup. It's basically counterattack and hope for the best.
Well, I don't even think it's that, right? Like, I think it's just we literally just sit back and defend. We play passes around in circles. We don't really go forward with any urgency. And it's just, I've said it all season. Like, and everyone, I just find the Robin Fraser love just blows my mind. I'm bored of him. Like
we said it.
There's no energy. There's like, when you watch a press conference, right? And don't get me wrong, like when John Herdman used to annoy me with certain things, but for the most part, when I watched a John Herdman press conference, there was some energy, there was some joy, there's some belief or hope in the way he spoke.
But that's John.
That's John's best thing. Don't get me wrong. But then you go from that to dry toast guy, and I can't.
But we said this. We said this at the beginning of the season, or when they made the John Fraser announcement. He was not number 1 or second choice. He was, when they didn't have any other option. He fit the criteria of, well, he's been here before. He understands the club. Let's just get him.
They don't understand the club. They clearly have shown they don't understand the club
over
the last year. You've got Keith Pelly who held a season ticket holder thingy, and then literally said we're going to compete, win championships, and run away. I just want to update you, Keith. We're 12th. We've got a -7 goal difference. We've won
no trophies,
and the only thing you're competing for is if the rest of the league wasn't as bad, we would probably be in the bottom 2, because at the end of the day, we're still miles off where we need to be. Yes, you've made some players. Again, it's this overhyped, oversung. Oh, well, we've got rid of all this thing and we've got all this scam money, and we're not winning games. Like, I don't care what anybody says. The idea is you win games, play football, and play some entertaining football. We don't do any of those things. So it's great having GAM and TAM and RAM and all the other bloody things that they say we should be excited about. When they're listing Cifuentes as a pivotal signing, and I'm like, that guy looked terrible the other day. I'm sorry, he looked awful. Against Miami, he looked way out of his depth. It's just this is the stuff that I'm tired of the nonsense. Why do we have to listen to the nonsense? I just don't get it. Like, it's not exciting to watch this team. We are really boring. And like you, like I've sat here and I said to you, I'm probably going to renew this season, and I'm 70-30 on the renewal, right? Because I am somewhat optimistic, because that's who I am in life. As much as I like to moan, because that's an English thing, we do enjoy moaning. It is a very happy English. We do like to moan. But the problem I have is I don't like the crap. I don't like the make it out like they're on this great path to greatness. And all I've seen is, well, Jack Elliott scoring more goals than, an awful lot more than our strikers have. And I just sit there and look and go, I don't know what everyone's so excited about for next year. What are you excited about? Richie's older. will probably be injured in January. The schedule next year is gonna be horrendous. We're gonna be playing in the cold. You're gonna sign Corbeau. You're gonna bring in another player, but so far, again, they just need so much thing, and I'm really terrified that these numpties are gonna go and bring back a whole bunch of these guys that are bang average. And if Etienne Jr. gets re-signed, I'm out. Because what's the point? Like, I don't get the point of what we're trying to do with the club at the moment. They're just so vanilla. And Lauren had it this week from Red Patch. Like, the connection between the fans, the club, is gone. Like, it's gone. I've shown it this week, and and I look at Vancouver because I had to endure it all last week. But when they didn't have a connection, they spent time, effort, and money to trying to get people back into the stadium. They tried to do things like lower the cost. They tried to bring in things. They tried to do something to get the connection back with the fans. And it turns out that win against TFC when we had the Italians in the cup final is the pivotal moment in turning their fan base around with a connection. We don't have a connection. They want us to be gone. They want to take pictures of the South End and 114 because that's good for promotional material, but they don't want to support 114. They don't want to support 116. They don't want to support 113, 112. They don't want. They want money. And as Lauren put it the other day, we are a walking wallet. You and I have said this all season. I'm just a cash number to them, right? And at the end of the day, that's where I'm struggling internally with this, because I want to believe, I want to see, but I can't, because my eyes tell me what I see in front of me. Everyone's like, oh, we're on an unbeaten streak.
Well, okay. I think this offseason is going to be a big tell for this organization. And I think MLSC is going to learn the hard way that for years, they've just been able to ride the coattails of having loyal supporters. But I honestly have a strong feeling you're going to see a massive drop in support come next season. And I really think they have next year's going to be crucial for this organization moving forward, because they seem, with what's happening with BMO Field and other areas of conversation, they are going all in and making BMO Field more of a soccer style stadium than anything else. Right? With the recent announcement with what's happening in the CFL, that clearly makes it, BMO Field will become a soccer first stadium.
Which is great. But the problem is, what's the point if you can't put out a team that can score?
Agreed. Right?
Again, it's just this. But what I don't like and what really irritates me is this perpetual, we should have hope and we should trust this front office. They've done nothing for 5 years, and we're back on it. You've got to trust us. Trust us with what? You've got no connection to the people that are paying your wages, because let's be honest, we are paying their wages. They have no connection to anything inside the stadium with the fans. They're miles off it, and it's not getting any better.
But no, we are part of MLSC. When has that ownership group cared about what fans have to think?
But they did before.
No. Let's really take a hard look at this organization from top to bottom. We're not even this isn't even a Toronto FC thing. This is a MLSC organization that has been milking the Toronto Maple Leaf fan base for decades. True. They do not care about fans, never have. They only care about making money. And when we have naive fans that'll continuously spend money, they don't care. BMO Field, TFC's been a laughingstock for how many years now, but yet they still outsell 2/3 of the league.
Yeah.
We're cash.
I know you're not wrong. It's just, we care, right? And
that's the problem.
That's the problem. We do care, and it is very hard for me to sit here and go, you know what? I'm just not going to renew my tickets. I'm not going to go to games, because that's not who we are, right? And I just I'm just bored of the narratives. Like it just
Yeah.
like I'm not kissing their ass because they've got 7 draws in a row. We play
I
boring football. We're a
hun-
boring team. We have no energy. We have no personality. We have no connection to the fans. We are as sterile and bland and dull
as it can be.
as
Facts.
dry toast. And that's
Right.
generally how I feel about this team. And I am I'm talking myself into to canceling my tickets here, but I just find they
You
need
can't
a
cancel your tickets this year. One of us has to have the tickets this year because
I'm
I'm
probably
only
not,
can't.
like, but again, it's just that's where I am with this. Like, it's just it is
Here's
so ridiculous that we are
yeah,
well supported. You have one of the best fan bases in MLS, without doubt. We don't all agree on how to support, and everyone's got their own views on that. That's great, and I'm not on about that, but like you do have one of the most diehard, passionate fan bases when things are
and
going right.
facts.
But you also have to give some effort. I'm just tired of just the narratives that they like to put out, on the socials, like, oh, another well and draw. Are you kidding me? You've not won for 80 days. You've won 2 home games. You won 5 games in total all year out of 31. 5 out of 31. And I think I don't know who I sent it to. I sent it to someone. Maybe I tweeted it. I can't remember. But we've won what 36 games, something like that, in 167 in the last 5 years. I think it's like 35 or 36 games in the last 167. Winning is not what we do, and I'm just bored of it. I'm just bored of the narrative. I'm bored of like this. We're rebuilding. We're going to rebuild the culture. I looked at Chicago right this weekend. Who's in the playoffs?
No, we how many
Good coach too,
MLS
by the way. I just want to say, good coach in
ma-
Berhalter, and
major
they sign
yeah,
players that fit their system quickly.
Major League Soccer is one of the easiest leagues where you can go from bottom to a playoff team in one season. It's the easiest league to do it. But you need brains in your management team. And we don't have the right soccer minded people. We had brought in a guy like Neppy, and what ended up happening? He didn't seem like they listened to what he was trying to do, and people felt they're smarter than him. And now he got signed some like we clearly don't have people the rights. We don't have soccer minded people. Like I don't know how Keith Pelly, you're not a soccer minded person, and you should not be like you can be whatever MLSE wants to prop you up as, but you should not be the main man controlling each individual entity within MLSE. And you need to have a president who is a soccer man who knows MLS and maybe even more than just Major League Soccer, but understands the North American structure of football.
We are disingenuous as a club, and I don't say that lightly, but they are disingenuous because they just talk an awful lot of crap. The thing is, sometimes you can look with your own eyes and go, is there moments where, like I was listening to him talk about Coelho, like just this glowing world beater superstar, but when I watch him play, he has moments where he looks really good, and then he turns the ball over right from the goal and bang, it's in the net.
He has no consistency in his game. Like we all know there's a talent there. Everyone sees it, but the problem is
he's not like he's a young kid anymore. This is a kid that, and then you listen to Robin Fraser, he sounds like he's, a level above like Michael Bradley.
Yeah.
No. And Michael Bradley, he did towards the end, but in his prime, never made those mistakes. And if he did, he rectified them. Like, I just find it's just this narrative of just, we've got these great players. They just need a bit more. We just need a DP9, and that's going to solve the issue. It's not going to solve the issue because the problem is you've got a lot of players that just aren't that good. And again, this weekend, you got lucky, which we've got lucky a lot lately to get a draw. Like at the end of the day, Jack Elliott's on fine form. Like, good for him. But like, even just you get a penalty late and you rescue it. I thought I turned it off at that point because I was just irritated and I was just bored, to be honest. I generally just, if you can't get the vibe from me, I'm just bored of this team. They're about as, it's just
There,
so dull and vanilla.
it took a lot for me to be when I
Awake.
realized it was an 8:30 game. I was like, oh, 8:30. Oh. And I'm watching it, and I'll be honest with you, I missed the penalty. I mean, by that point, we're down
I
2-1.
turned
I'm
it off.
like, oh, this game sucks. I can't watch anymore. And I had to go back and watch it. I was like, oh, well, we tied it up. Great. Like like I said, I tuned out this season. It's over. Last week was kind of the nail in the coffin for me when it, like I said, with it just like, I'm done. And and it's not like when I say I'm done, you're gonna still see you and I continuously doing TFC Unplugged. We're gonna be watching the games, but it's just I'm done in the sense of caring that for what's left. There's nothing left. The season's over. I'm
No, I think
not.
this season is very much,
It's been over for a while.
it's been over for a long, long time, right? It's been over since May for me, right? Because once we had all those defeats, everyone's like, "Oh, we still have it." When people are doing their calculations, I'm like, "Get a life."
We've
We haven't won more than 10 games once in the last 5 years. So the odds of trying to win 13 games to get into the playoffs and all that, so it's like
not happening.
it's Mickey Mouse fantasy, right? Like it's just that's where we're at, right? And I am generally just, you can tell I'm angry, but I'm passionate, but I'm angry because I'm just bored of this narrative that we're progressing at this great rate. We're not really. We haven't won for 80 days. I think Martin Bailey had that as a tweet this morning. We haven't won for 80 days. And at the end of the day, what's the point in playing if you can't win games? Like, I don't drive downtown Toronto for 2 hours to watch a 1-1 draw. But that's what we do. And then they're like,
Yep.
oh, it's a great result. Are we drunk? Clearly not drunk at BMO because it costs you too much money, 18 bucks. So either you're taking the hip flask out and drinking in the office at MLSC, but like it's just like you have a club that once was the envy of every other team in MLS.
Yep.
You were once that team that everybody. Now, I'm not talking about championships. I'm talking about fan base, culture, commitment, support, energy. We are the tone setter. We were the tone setter for the league, and they've dissolved it. And they've dissolved it in the most neutral way because, yes, they're happy to sell your ticket that you'll cancel to somebody else who's going to then, put it on Ticketmaster 6 times a week, 6 times a friggin' season, go to the 4 games that they want to go to, and then pedal it out. And it kills the culture. It kills the South End. It kills the environment.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually it kills the team. And they don't know it because they're too stupid. And that's the bottom line. They're too stupid to understand what they are doing is systematically breaking their own club and breaking their long-term money. Hey, you know what money does come happen? Look at the Blue Jays. You start winning, you get 40,000 people in there buying beer, going all in, jerseys, all that stuff. Winning breeds success, winning breeds money. But these guys are so stuck up their own backsides at the moment that they don't seem to understand that they are part of the problem. When you've got a coach that can't even get the fan base going, like, I don't know, I just find it so vanilla. Like it's so boring. It's like, oh my God. There's nothing to talk about.
Nope.
I said to you the other day, when I called you the other day, I was like, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to talk about. We're literally trying to clutch at straws to be like, what can we film for content?
Well,
Coelho
thankfully,
doing a pirouette and the training, like that's as much the excitement. The exciting thing of last week's news, and I'm sorry about this, but the Miami game, the most exciting news of the week was Giovinco teaching the boys how to mimic Messi. That's it. That's our preview for the Miami game. Hey, we got Gio in a kit and got him to run around like Messi.
But you know what? Most fans were probably thinking like, well, can he play?
I actually said it. Bring him on for 6 games and give me a good chuckle.
Yeah. Well, we got 2 games left.
He might score a couple of goals. And then we
Yeah.
get to be depressed on Wednesday night with the arrival of LAFC.
No, that's an away game.
Is
We
it an
have that
away game?
wrong. Wednesday is
Oh,
we're on the road. Our last home game is against Orlando, the 18th.
oh, okay. Well, then that's good because then I don't have to go to the office. Sweet.
It's a 6 p.m. game in Toronto on a Saturday.
That's okay.
It's not bad. It's not bad, right?
I'd rather take 6 p.m. We haven't
Than
had 6 p.m. all
7:30.
season.
No,
So
that's
I'll
kind of
take a 6 p.m. I'll take a 6 p.m. game. I like it the 4
they're
p.m. or 6 p.m. over the thing. But no, I am just I'm over it. I'm over it and I'm angry. And I'm angry at the club more than anything because I just think they're so clueless. They're so out of touch. And you read the letters, you read the comments, you just don't have to go very far to see that it's not just one person it's not just me. We just have a platform that we can say it. But I'm just there is positives, don't get me wrong, but they're not the positives that they think they are.
well. You know what we should try to do is we should reach out to a couple of our friends, maybe the Toronto Till I Die crew, because all indication is if not both of them, at least one of them is not renewing his seats for next year, right? So I'd love to hear what their take is, and they've been talking TFC a lot longer than you and I have, and see if they have any other feel, because I think at the end of the season it'll be interesting to see, like, really get a grasp at the people that are walking away from this club and how are they walking away. Are they just walking away from their seats? Are they just saying, you know what, I no longer live in Toronto, I'm done? um you've got other teams to now, you can choose from. You don't have to, like, if you're still a soccer fan, you have the CPL, you have the NSL. You don't have to support Toronto FC anymore. They aren't the only option.
No, you know what, I think
Yeah,
a lot of it is just I think people I think they're not so I think they're just walking away and walking away because it's become an expensive hobby that doesn't give back, right? At the end of
yeah.
the day, and that's ultimately what this comes back to. You go to watch a game to be entertained. You go to watch games to see,
There's no
people. You go to see wins, and you go to see a team compete and to fight for championships. And we talk about it, or like MLSE talks about it, like they're regularly in that conversation. And when I was looking at the stats the other day, it's not been a conversation for a long time. And I'm just at that point where obviously we talk to a lot of people, right? Like I can't tell you how many times I talked to people last week, and it just didn't help in my own personal case, just going into a city where it's now back on the rise. The culture's there's an excitement in the city, and I generally wholeheartedly miss when we're doing well. And
yeah.
and that's not just because everyone wants to celebrate a winner, but it's more because it's that we're like watching the Jays at the moment, right? Like you just watched them yesterday, and that energy, that crowd, that you're like, that's what I miss. I miss
Yep.
the let's frigging go, let's
Just
go, let's
yeah.
go and have some fun, let's go and show the world that Toronto is the best city. Let's go and do it. Like I
Yep.
miss that more than anything in the world. I miss those nights. I miss those energy. I miss that passion. I miss the attacking football where we scored goals, and you sat back and went, "Oh my God, did Giovinco just do that? Did Victor Vasquez just do that? Did Pozuelo just do that?" I miss those get your bums out the seats, get you standing on your feet moments.
Yep. Those are
And
over. Those are all long gone, bro.
and when I then this comes back to the point I've made this entire episode is you watch how bland we are, how lifeless we are, how we have no personality, no flair, and they think that's a reason to be excited for next year.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Well, that's it. You know what? We've been pretty much negative this whole episode. So
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's me, and I can tell you, you need a reality check sometimes, and I got one last week. I
Yeah.
got one in a city that is buzzing, and I'm like, that just drives home how far we have fallen for me, and
Yeah.
that's the bottom line.
Well,
But
folks,
thanks for following. Thanks for watching. Sorry I'm depressing everybody, but I'm being honest. And somebody asked me last week, like, why aren't you guys more angrier? Well, I am angry.
but what's the point? That no one's listening to us.
Exactly.
And
that's my point.
And not only that is, we used to get, especially when we were doing the Tunnel Club, the amount of flack we would get from people saying, "Oh, we're so negative. We're always this. We're always that." But tell me where the lie was.
No, we haven't been wrong. We're
Right?
still in the bottom half of the league. We're nowhere near the playoffs. We're nowhere near contention. Yes, we have money to spend on players this offseason, but that's all you got to hang your hat on.
That's it. And we have to admit this organization hasn't really hit the nail on the head when it comes to their signings. So it's hard to believe that they're going to get it right this offseason. It's been a long time since we've gotten it right. And I'm not talking about 2-3 years. It's been a lot longer than that. So the fan base has a right to be angry, has a right to be frustrated, and has a right to walk away.
Yeah.
So,
but don't forget to smash a like.
Yeah. It's subscribe.
To help us, because we do appreciate y'all. Sorry, we're kind of. I'm angry. I am angry. I've been angry since those. And I'm, like I say, my tickets didn't go up that much, and it's not about that. It's the people that are 25-30%. It's the people that I see walking away that
are
should never be
diehards.
walking away, because they bleed this club, but now the club has bleed them to a point where it's no longer worth their while, and that is a loss that you can't always replace. Let's just put it that way.
Enough said. All right, folks, catch us. I guess. Well, there's a midweek game, so we don't know when we'll do
Probably
that recording.
maybe Thursday. I think.
Yeah, we'll try. If Noel's free, we will record some Thursday. So stay tuned. But thanks for joining us this week. We'll see. We'll see what our next episode brings.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.
All right. Take care. Peace.
Like what you hear? Smash that like button. Subscribe now.